The last just man is the man who embodies the sins of society, and they go through his soul. And Romeo Dallaire was the man whose soul was the transit point for evil and goodness. When I look at Romeo and I look deep into Romeo Dallaire's eyes and the haunting images of the genocide he carries with himself, I see the reflection of the world in him.
Rwanda is the most beautiful country that I've visited. It's right in the heart of Africa. And so this sense of it being paradise is part of the context of this unbelievable evil that unfolded there. You know, it's as if, you know, the devil himself decided to mock God in paradise. What happened here is the world turned its back. Who cares about Africa? One person didn't.
We found Roger Spottiswoode. Spottiswoode was the right guy to do this.
Pointing right at them saying, you're not taking them hostage. He was a young general. This was his first real conflict. And of course, it didn't start off that way. It started off as an easy situation that he was overseeing a peace treaty. And only in the ensuing months did he understand that he was in a terrible quagmire of death and destruction.
Once we met Roy Dupuis, it was inconceivable that anyone else could play Dallaire. He feels completely like the man who we had come to know.
Because of what he went through and what he does today, he's an incredible man. So I have a lot of respect for him. And I understand how much it's important for him, the story, to be right. Even the last thing he told me, I'm giving you a mission.
Cet hôtel sous aucun prétexte. Il est sous la protection des Nations Unies. C'est clair.
We made a decision to respect the historical accuracy of the story. As a viewer, when you see the film, you're likely watching the scene in the venue in which it took place. When the flag is raised, that's the landscape that the real Romeo Dallaire looked out on.
J'aime mon pays général. Tout le monde aime la beauté. C'est comme aimer une belle enfant. C'est facile. Mais ce qu'il est beaucoup moins, c'est d'aimer l'enfant qui n'est pas si beau. Ça reste aussi, ce n'est pas un rôle très négatif. Hein. C'est une femme qui a eu beaucoup de courage, qui a donné sa vie pour le pays. Donc j'estime que c'est un rôle qui devrait me faire plaisir et qui me fait plaisir en tout cas.
The film requires unusual resources. It requires armies, thousands of extras, artillery, armed personnel carriers, jeeps, troops, fighting, blood. We build corpses. We flew from Toronto to Rwanda to be in the film. We have 8 to 10 cameras in the field. 10 cameras burn 10 times the film in 35 millimeter and 60 millimeter. We had to fly in 40 tons of equipment. There is not gaffer tape available here. If a camera breaks down, it's traveling 12 to 16 hours to get fixed. If you rent 25 cars, you better have 22 mechanics.
One of the UN vehicles in our convoy crashed into another car.
We've had 7 car accidents. 3 of the cars were totaled.
Well, the vehicle looks like it's already been blown up, and we're trying to blow it up. This piece of shit you just sent me is fucking garbage, man. There's no windows in the fucking thing.
And by the way, it ain't finished yet. We're only at day 16.
We're doing a scene where it's under fire and it's blowing up and all of those things, and we have nothing to blow up. We have no way of making smoke. We have no explosives. We have no effects. We can't create any sense of it. Well, we have a wonderful, peaceful location and no way of creating a war except talking about it. And this is a film with a lot of talk already. We can't just talk about what's landing here. We have to actually see something.
First, we find out we can't get the film out of the airport. Then we find out we can't get the bodies out of the airport, but we're shooting dead bodies up north.
Well, we are in the position of not having the bodies that we spent a month and a half to build, 30 dead people, and they're still in customs. So we find ourselves resorting to an old school method of making horrible wounds. Instead of artificial bodies and high-grade urethane weighed out on a scale, we're using kitchen sponge and good old-fashioned latex.
It'll take about an hour to fix it, and it'll take about 2 seconds to destroy it. Just like good carpentry.
It's only taken about 5 hours. But no, everybody did a great job. It was really good.
I will either sit down with Roger, or if we're on location, I'll go with him. I'll just do some very quick little sketches down. The camera will tilt down. And then it just goes into a bunch of things where, you know, a lot of this would be like second unit pop. There's a lot of little vignettes, you know, man with a heavy sack, lady with the lines. We get into there's some horrible meat on the table. It's really quite disturbing. We have a little foreshadowing there of events to come.
It's a very strange feeling, and I can imagine that it must be even much more difficult for the people that are here and the extras, the people that are playing this part in our movie. If it's difficult for me, I just cannot imagine how it is difficult for them to go through this process.
We needed some of them to be dead bodies, and a woman got upset when we just mentioned the word dead bodies, and she said, you know what, I need this job, but I cannot do this.
Unafanya mchezo pekee, okay? Relax. Sasa. Wacha kufikiria hivyo. Sasa lala.
So we gave her another ticket and told her we'll use her on, you know, wandering locals or doing something else, or a refugee, but not a dead body. I think we were casting about 70 RGF soldiers and about 40 young militias. And we had our files and we called our people to come in. But it so happens that these people, word goes around, the people here, their jobs. So they all show up at the same time with these people at 4 a.m.
I get here around 4. Can you believe this? And this is we are about 7, and we're still here. Not yet inside, we have not yet played. We're still shouting, and just for 10,000.
How much is 10,000 in US dollars?
It's $20.
Donc uyu urebye usanga ubuzima bwacu bwo muri iki gihugu cyacu ni ikibazo cy'ubukene. Kuvuga ngo ubu bukene bushobora kongera bukatugarura muri bya bihe byahise. Ntabwo byo bishoboka.
Chef. Rehearsal's coming up.
Yes, I'm seeing the world behind, so Robin and all those people need to either...
I know these kind of questions.
I was in a septic tank, but the septic tank was empty. And I was there like for 2 months and 16 days. I was very afraid all the time. But after 1 week, I said that now I want to be killed because I can't stay in this septic tank for a long time.
Comme ça, tu vois, comme ça. Comme ça. Tu l'amènes comme ça.
Oui.
OK? Boom!
Kuri njyewe gukina muri siyaje ntabwo ari ibintu binishimiye kabisa. ntabwo bishimisha.
nanjye ku ruhande rwanjye gukina ndi umujepe ntabwo nanjye binshimisha.
Njye nk'impamvu kudakina iyi role bitanshimisha kuko nka minisitiri bakoze ibintu bibi cyane, kumva rero umuntu ayikina kandi ibintu byabayeho biba ari ibintu bibi. Niyo abantu bakurebye kuri image filime bakuzi biba biteye isoni kabisa. Kuba iriya filime yaraje gukinirwa muri Kigali njyewe nkeka ko kuba na Dallaire ubwo ariho yabaga muri Kigali n'ibyo yabonye akina muri iriya filime n'ibyabiriye mu mujyi wa Kigali.
Kuri iriya filime kuba yaraje mu mujyi ukinwamo, urebye byaturutse ku gitekerezo cyo kuba buri wese atarabashije kubona ibintu byabaye muri uru Rwanda rwacu, noneho ugasanga buri wese abifata uko biri cyangwa se uko abyumva.
This story of the genocide needed to be told 1,000 times.
Take this boy.
And that this one movie about that one person and the group of soldiers who stayed behind, that would make a movie that I would want to see. If people come away and say, maybe we can give meaning to never again, or they get angry, something like that happens, that celluloid can actually change something or affect something, that would be very satisfying.
The men who were there said the killers were working together. The gendarmerie and the local civilians. Methodical is the word they used.
It's extermination, General. Like the Jews.
There are many, many stories inside here that affect all of us. And we can say that's a faraway, small, distant country. It has nothing to do with us. It has everything to do with all of us.
This country, to me, was dead. Everywhere you went, it smelled dead. And now, to come back here and to see the country that is clean, flowers everywhere, people are smiling, it smells life as opposed to death. 1994.
Stand back!
Life is not full of predictable factors. And maybe there is a destiny here that, we can maybe help facilitate.
Yeah, we are very proud to play our history. This is a Rwandan history which is been playing here, and we are proud to play it. We are not here for money, but we are here to make things become true, and so that everyone may know what was going on in Rwanda. Even our children, we wish that our children may know the story of Rwanda, because of this movie. Very happy to play this movie.